Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 28th of June 2022, and I'd like to talk about BA4 and BA5. And no, I haven't just been up the road to Gatwick Airport and seen those as two British Airways flights about to depart to Malaga or wherever. They are apparently the substrains of the scariant that starts with O, and it gets crazy, doesn't it? We actually have variants of variants who are honestly, have you ever known a lurgy with more variants than what this one's had? Everything from, well, they used to name them after places, didn't they, until the Indian variant got into hot water with the Indian authorities, who sort of saw it as some kind of defamation. So they then had to call them either by weird names like the O1, or just a combination of, well, like flight numbers, basically. So it's a wonder to me how a test which has been proven to be highly inaccurate can all of a sudden detect sort of not only variants but subvariants, and they can tell that it's not I don't know, the Indian variant or the one that starts with O, but BA4 or BA5, all from a test which we all know is highly inaccurate. But that is one of the very weird things about the situation, isn't it? And another thing following on from this is, apparently, according to some sources, the Big V has been responsible for saving 20 million lives worldwide, sort of from the lurgy, which would be great. But guess who came up with that number? Yeah, Imperial College of London. You know, that's Neil Ferguson's lot. The guy and the organisation famous for vastly overestimating the effect of everything. So when they say 20 million lives have been saved, it probably means that in reality not even 20 lives have been saved. So that's how much store I place in their nonsense. But I should think that worldwide the number of lives that have been wrecked by the same thing that we're talking about probably is much more accurate. So I'm going to talk about hypocrisy now for the rest of this video, and it's amazing to me just how prevalent hypocrisy is in this day and age, and we see it all the time. But I'm just going to give 3 or 4 examples here right now. Of course, we had all through the nonsense the hypocrisy of, well, for years we haven't been able to say anything against various demographics in the country. You know, if you say anything against this demographic or that demographic over there or that demographic over there, no, it's a very bad thing to do. And yeah, rightly so. You know, you can't be sort of speaking nastily against various demographics. Yeah, it's just not the done thing. But given that all of these people were so hot on that sort of thing, it's we then had the hypocrisy of, well, you know, this demographic over here, who are the demographic who have chosen to exercise a bit of bodily autonomy when it comes to a certain treatment. Oh, well, all of a sudden, all of this kind of discrimination thing goes straight out the window, and it's perfectly all right to call for them to be victimised and for them to be hounded and for them to be called all sorts of names. and for them to be sort of put into sort of camps and refused entry into all kinds of things like planes, trains, shops, and all the rest of it. All of a sudden, all kinds of discrimination is all right against that lot. So that is one bit of hypocrisy that's not new to us. That's not news at the moment. But there's a couple of other more recent examples. I don't know if you saw the picture of the Glastonbury Festival, which I think was just this weekend, just past. So Glastonbury, the world famous music festival that happens in southern England here. And we had all of the people who love the government narrative, who love all of the other narratives to do with, the thing that affects the weather and, that old chestnut, what I'm talking about, and, things to do with the environment generally. And we had all of those lovers of that kind of thing, who would have been the vast majority of people there. All kinds of virtue signalers, including Paul McCartney and waving his Ukrainian flag. That's another bit of hypocrisy. Where's he? What flag is he waving when we're talking about the war that's been happening in, is it Yemen, and places like that, various other places like that around the world? He's not waving their flag, so that's a bit of hypocrisy there, right there. But anyway, going back to Glastonbury, all kinds of virtue signalling nonsense going on there. Of course, Greta sort of dropped in, didn't she, to speak to the crowds there, and everybody was cheering her and everything else. And I don't know if you saw Carl Vernon's video yesterday where he was asking the question, are you going to clear this up, Greta? Because we have all of these supposedly green, eco-conscious people going to this festival, and then they leave that field in an absolutely disgusting state. And honestly, it's the level of hypocrisy there is just ridiculous. When you think the little amount of effort it would have taken each person just to pick up all of their stuff and to put it either in a proper sort of disposal point or just take it home with them, wouldn't have been a lot of effort, would it? But no, these entitled hypocrites go and just leave it all strewn across miles across this field. And while I'm on the subject of Glastonbury, I did see a picture and a bit of a meme. I presume this is true. It wouldn't surprise me if it is. Of course, some of these people who went to Glastonbury, the richer ones, turned up in their Teslas and other electric vehicles, and they found themselves needing a bit of a charge. And the Glastonbury organisers kindly organising some car charging points for their these electric vehicles. And do you think these charging points were powered by solar or wind sources? No, they were powered by these dirty grey diesel generators. Oh, you couldn't make it up, could you? But the biggest bit of hypocrisy, and I'm going to leave a video for you to watch in the, it's a YouTube video, so it'll be in the description box and the comment section below. And this kind of follows on from the Roe versus Wade Supreme Court thing that happened in America. The Supreme Court decision that overturned that one, the Roe versus Wade thing, which basically is going to mean in the United States, having abortions is going to be a lot more difficult now in a lot of places, or could well be. And I'm not going to discuss the rights or wrongs of that. That's not the purpose of this video. But of course, a lot of people who are in favour of having that procedure done were out on the streets, or are currently out on the streets with kind of my body, my choice type slogans flying everywhere. That wasn't really at the top of their minds when it came to having a certain injectable put into your body a few months ago. But of course, when it comes to this, they're out there in their droves. And you're not going to believe this unless you've seen this stuff already, but our good old friend Justin Trudeau, Canadian Prime Minister, was coming out with, he came out with a tweet saying basically how no government, politician or man should ever tell a woman what she can or can't do to her own body, and how the Canadian government would always support a woman's bodily integrity. He's changed his tune a little bit, hasn't he, from a few months ago, where he was literally on the other opposite side of the fence there, saying unless he was very much against bodily autonomy. So just the hypocrisy of the man is just unbelievable. But there's a video, and you'll see that he got a few stinging replies from various people, including a lady who sort of gave him a very stinging reply indeed. So I'll just leave you to go and watch that video, and you'll see just what a hypocrite he is, and how well quite a lot of people out there picked him up on it. So I'll leave it there. Back tomorrow. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.